On the news tonight, Naira redesign policy under pressure as scarcity of new notes persists. Governor Adeleke inaugurates 11-man ad hoc committee for University of Elisha. Federal government plans collaboration with communities to prevent further train attacks. Uganda declares end to Ebola crisis in the country. We are glad to have you join us on the major reports. I am Olubumi Ajiboye Agwola. The Naira redesign policy have come under siege in spite of the efforts by the Central Bank of Nigeria to continue with strict enforcement. The old notes are expected to be out of circulation, seasoned to be legal tender in the next 20 days. However, a survey conducted by the Newsmen suggests 27.3% of Lagos residents, Nigeria's financial hub and headquarters of the Nigerian Security Printing and Minting PLC, are yet to see any of the new banknotes, much less receive one. 43.2% of 176 respondents called for a 6-month extension of the window set for demonetization of the old notes. Another 18.9% asked for the 3 months, while 16.2% were comfortable with the month extension. Proponents of extension limits, such as a year and above, received the least percentage of 8.1%, while those demanding additional 2 months came next at 13.5%. The Senate had asked the Apex Bank to heed reason and move the deadline to the end of June, citing the hardship ST enforcement will have on Nigerians. Out of the 18 parties registered for the February 25 presidential election, the major ones are dominating as the campaign ahead of the polls heads into the home stretch. Apart from the ruling All Progressives Congress, the People's Democratic Party, Labour Party, and New Nigeria Political Party, the remaining 14 have not commenced their nationwide campaigns, and their posters and billboards are also not visible. It was learned that many of the smaller parties have either been battling with leadership issues or have been inactive due to a cash crunch. Apart from their involvement in some of the town hall meetings, many of the smaller parties have been silent as they continue to miss the political scene. The Secretary General of the Conference of Nigerian Political Parties, Willie Zugu, claimed that the big parties have not created a level playing field for the smaller ones to thrive. Meanwhile, the declaration by the Independent National Electoral Commission that the security situation in the country could hinder the successful conduct of the poll has raised questions about the future really holds for Nigeria if the elections were postponed or cancelled by INEC. Our report of the week focuses on the implications of this on the socio-political development of Nigeria. Oluwatobiloba Odunuga reports.
Insecurity has remained a major issue in Nigeria for many years now. Government whose primary responsibility is the protection of lives and property of the citizenry has been battling this major challenge that has led to loss of lives and rendered many homeless and internally displaced. The security issue has also led to the increase in the number of out-of-school children, affected farmers, and instilling Nigerians a general feeling of fear whenever embarking on a journey. Little wonder why the declaration by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, that the growing wave of election-related insecurity across the country, if left unchecked, would lead to the postponement of the forthcoming general elections, as causing to generate reactions among Nigerians. The electoral umpire noted that developments could hinder the declaration of election results and precipitate a constitutional crisis. Reacting to this, a public affairs analyst.
We sincerely apologize for that technical hitch experienced in the report. It will be brought to you as the report goes on. The President of the Court of Appeal, Justice Monica Dongba Amensem, has asked election tribunal officers to leave above board during their service in the forthcoming elections. Justice Dongba Mensem cautioned that if any of them compromised the system, they would not only be relieved of their service, but will be prosecuted in line with recommendations by the Federal Judicial Service Commission. She gave the warning in Abuja at a 2-day capacity building workshop for those who would serve as officials of the election tribunals, stressing the importance of functional registries to the effectiveness of election tribunals. The president of the Court of Appeal stated that the training was aimed at preparing the officials for the task ahead. She pointed out that the judges' integrity and that of the tribunal and its members are in the public searchlight. They must therefore ensure not to be used as weapons to truncate the process. Justice Dongba Mensem stated that it is equally important to remind them to constantly relate with the Election Petition Tribunal unit at the headquarters at intervals and report matters they are uncertain about to forestall breaches in communications. And now we go back to the report. The declaration by the Independent National Electoral Commission that the security situation in the country could hinder this successful conduct of the poll has raised questions about what the future really holds for Nigeria if the elections were postponed or cancelled by INEC. Our report of the week focuses on the implications of this on the socio-political development of Nigeria. Oluwatobiloba Odunoga has more.
Security has remained a major issue in Nigeria for many years now. Government whose prime responsibility is the protection of lives and property of the citizenry has been battling this major challenge that has led to loss of lives and rendered many homeless and internally displaced. The security issue has also led to the increase in the number of out-of-school children, affected farmers, and instilling Nigerians general feeling of fear whenever embarking on a journey. Little wonder why the declaration by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) that the growing wave of election-related insecurity across the country, if left unchecked, would lead to the postponement of the forthcoming general elections, as causing to generate reactions among Nigerians. The electoral umpire admitted that developments could hinder the declaration of election results and precipitate a constitutional crisis. Reacting to this, a public affairs analyst, Comrade Michael Lebofin, stated that the INEC has taken the right step by informing Nigerians of the dangers ahead, noting that it behoves of the government to do all within its power to stem the tide of rising insecurity in different parts of the country.
It's an early warning telling us that if he did not categorically say that we're not going to have the election or it's going to be postponed, it doesn't have that power, it doesn't have the authority. But because of some indices that be surrounding it, it may, and we can see some physical things. Recently, we witnessed that of kidnapping at Edo train station, which is uncalled for at this period. We are still battling with that of Abuja, but look at what happened in Edo inside here. So that's one of those things. You cannot really blame Mahmoud for saying that. So what we need to do is to really relax and not being disenfranchised.
Speaking in the same vein, another analyst, Mr. Michael Ogunbanwo, all Nigerians remain hopeful, adding that INEC only hinted about the possibility of postponement as a result of insecurity, which could be taken care of. He called on all Nigerians to support and cooperate with the government in the fight against insurgency and all forms of criminality.
It's just probably. We are of the opinion, by the special grace of God, the election will definitely hold. But the whole essence depends on me and you. If the security if the security of the entire state, as Nigeria as a whole, is not right enough, I think that is the essence of why he had come to brief the generality of the people.
According to the legal petitioner, Mr. Michael Ayondokun, the electoral umpire with the backing of the law guiding the electoral body is expected to make certain decisions which could help strengthen the nation amidst security challenges. He noted that INEC as an electoral umpire has every right to postpone or cancel election if the current security challenges still persist in Nigeria.
INEC is empowered to postpone any scheduled elections when there is cogent and verifiable reasons to do so, linked to insecurity. I expect that's why INEC has been suggesting that it may look to postponing the elections because of the palace insecurity in Nigeria.
Recall that INEC had last month decried the waves of attacks on its offices and facilities across the country as it released data that showed attacks across 15 states including Imo, Enugu, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Abia and Osun. Others were Anambra, Taraba, Kaduna, Borno, Bayelsa, Ondo, Lagos and Ogun states. Reports says currently there are pockets of violence and insecurity across the country within banditry and kidnapping in the northwest and parts of the north central. Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast, killing by unknown gunmen and clashes between security agencies and separatists in the southeast, among others.
Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke has flagged off the election campaign for the People's Democratic Party in Osun East Senatorial District, where he presented the flag of the party to Senator Francis Fadausi as the party's candidate in the forthcoming general elections. Governor's Office correspondent Abdurrahim Adekunle reports.
Flagging off the PDP campaign in Osun East Senatorial District that kicked off in Okisa, Ilesha, Senator Ademola Adeleke arrived into the waiting hands of the jubilant party faithfuls who had trudged the venue of the rally from all the 10 local governments that made the constituency. Thousands of party faithfuls from the 10 local government areas trooped out en masse to receive the governor and his entourage at Okeomiru Motopa along Osogbo Road, from where they accompanied the convoy triumphantly to the venue of the program. Senator Adeleke used the occasion to thank people of Ijesha land for standing firmly with the party in the last gubernatorial election. He therefore appealed to them to support the party candidates in the next general election so as to enable his government have a smooth sail in office.
Our 100 days at Tiberebai,
His address of welcome, the Director General Atiku Okowa Campaign Organization in Osun State, Honorable Sunday BC, lauded the governor for what he has been doing since his assumption of office, saying that the PDP government in Osun State will reposition the state positively. Speaking with Osun State Broadcasting Corporation, Senator Francis Fadausi, who is the flag bearer of the party in the next general election for Osun East Senatorial District, expressed confidence in winning the next election, saying the administration of Senator Ademola Adeleke has softened ground with the way he has started. He appealed to the electorate to collect their PVCs and be ready to cast their ballots for the PDP candidates in the next general election. It has been Abdurrahim Adekunle reporting.
As part of efforts to actualize his campaign promises to the people of Ijesha land, Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke has mandated an 11-man ad hoc committee for University of Ilesha to come up with white paper for a sustainable university that will be ranked among the best in the country. Governor Adeleke gave the mandate while inaugurating the committee that has Professor Ashaolu Taiwo as chairman at the Local Government Service Commission Hall, State Secretariat. Governor's Office correspondent Abdurrahim Adekunle again takes the report.
Historic moment, the inauguration of ad hoc committee for the actualization of University of Ilesha, conceptualized by Senator Ademola Adeleke. According to the governor, the establishment of university in Ilesha was born out of his appreciation of the contributions of Ijesha people at home and in the diaspora to the state and national development. While expressing disappointment at the way last administration politicized the issue, Senator Adeleke reiterated the commitment of the PDP administration in Osun State to embracing due diligence in ensuring that people of Ijesha land are adequately protected and compensated with a university that is not just sustainable but can also be rated as one of the best in Nigeria. The committee has the following terms of reference.
Review and assess funding requirement for both capital and current expenditures for the eventual takeoff of the university. 2. Review and assess the sources of funds for both capital and current expenditures for the eventual takeoff of the university. 3. Generally review the implementation guidelines proposed by the implementation committee. 4. Engage all relevant stakeholders, including the host community, trade unions, alumni association of the government, the student body, etc.
Other terms of reference, according to the governor, are to propose modalities for the phased implementation in a way that faculties and courses of study will be matched with the funding requirements, as well as evaluation and policy recommendation on the existing obligations, assets and liabilities of the College of Education, with a view to removing all impediments for the eventual takeoff of the university. Responding, Chairman of the committee, Professor Ashaolu Taiwo, appreciated the governor and promised that his committee will follow due diligence in handling the task given to them. Members of the committee are Professor Oyesoji Aremu, Professor Lukman Jumada, Professor David Akintayo, Professor Mrs. Adefunke, Dr. Mutaliba Akamu, Honorable Bamidele Salam, and 3 permanent secretaries from the Ministries of Finance and Economic Planning, Education and Justice. The committee has 6 weeks to deliver its assignments. It will be recalled that in the build-up to the July 16, 2022 governorship election in Osun State, Senator Ademola Adeleke, who then was the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, had promised the people of Ijesha land that if elected as the governor, he will upgrade the College of Education in Ilesha to a university status. Not quite long after his declaration, the then administration of Alhaji Gboyega Oyetola hurriedly approved the conversion of Osun State College of Education in Ilesha to a University of Education. However, the effort failed to see the light of the day. It has been Abdurrahim Adekileku reporting.
Osun State civil servants have been urged to shun corruption in order to enjoy a peaceful and stress-free retirement. Worthy to be celebrated, retired head of service in the state, Pastor Segun Akinwusi, gave the advice at the 2023 New Year party or Forum of Retired Director Generals, General Managers, Permanent Secretaries, and Executive Secretaries in the state civil service. Omotayo Adebodu reports.
It was celebration galore for the members of Forum of Retired Director Generals, General Managers, and Executive Secretaries, among others, as they came together for their annual New Year party for the year 2023. In his welcome address, the President of the Forum, Chief Aderiola Adeleke, appreciated all members of the Forum for their cooperation and contributions, as well as their active participation in all activities of the Forum throughout the outgone year. He added that the Forum consists of distinguished administrators and loyal public servants who have retired but not tired, experienced, disciplined, knowledgeable, and matured, adding that they are always available to the government if their help is needed to utilize a rich reservoir of talent and experience to move the state forward. In their separate remarks, the chairman of the occasion, Pastor Segun Akinwusi, head of service, Mr. Ayeleye Aino, who was represented by the director of pension, Alhaji Bayo Raji, stated that the forum must put efforts together to advise the government of the state and liaise with other forums to reposition the civil service. They maintain that the development of the state lies in the hands of civil servants. They equally charge them to uphold the rules and regulations of the civil service. The forum comprises members of different areas of specialization such as administration, agriculture, broadcasting, education, advocacy, local government, health, engineering, among others, who are willing to serve as consultants or advisors even at short notice. Omotayo Adebodu, Osbc News.
Wife of the former governor of Osun State, Princess Omolola Oyinlola, has charged the well-meaning Nigerians to contribute their quota towards development of their communities. Princess Oyinlola gave the charge at the commissioning of a borehole project constructed by retired Bishop Bode Ajayi for Salah Adioba community, Alekuwodo area in Osogbo. Omotayo Adebodu has more.
Soccer came the way of the people of Salah Adioba community in Alekuwodo area, Osogbo, as a modern borehole project was constructed by retired Bishop Bode Ajayi for the use of the residents. Speaking with Osbc News on the motive behind the project, retired Bishop Bode Ajayi appreciated the constant support of Princess Omolola Oyinlola and Worktive community. Bishop Ajayi called on the people to see the project as their own and maintain it.
When these people came back to they've taken food, but they didn't work. What shall I do? I consulted to shift consultant Almighty God. And with the help of Almighty God, my children gathered, and then that is
Speaking in the same vein, the wife of the former governor of Osun State, Princess Omolola Oyinlola, stated that the commissioning of the project attests to the fact that Bishop Ajayi wants the best for his community and understand their yearnings.
For Baba at his age to provide this amenity for the people of this area is commendable, highly commendable.
Chairman of the community, Chief Oladimeji Oyewusi, commended the initiative and promised to maintain the project. Event climaxed with the commissioning of the borehole, which was done by Her Excellency Princess Omolola Oyinlola for the usage of the entire Salah Adioba community. Omotayo Adebodu, Osbc News.
Amid kidnappings, attacks, and destruction of railway infrastructure, the federal government has disclosed plans to establish Nigerian railway and host community security committees to tackle armed attacks on railway infrastructure and passengers in the country. The move by the federal government was unfolded as Edo State Deputy Governor Philip Shaibu also met with the heads of the security agencies and community leaders at the Igweben railway station. Minister of State for Transportation Ademola Adegoye disclosed that the federal government's plan during our tour of Tom Ikimi train station in Igwebe, Edo State, which was attacked by gunmen. The minister, who sympathized with victims of the attack, said the intention of the perpetrators was to sabotage efforts of President Muhammadu Buhari to resuscitate rail transport service. You are welcome to our sports segment. Atletico's fifth most expensive player in history, João Felix, has joined West London club Chelsea on loan for the second half of the season. Felix was part of the Portugal squad at the World Cup and scored 1 goal in 5 outings at the tournament as his country reached the quarterfinals. Omotayo Adebodu has the rest of this.
They have signed Atletico Madrid striker João Felix on loan for the rest of the season for a fee of 11 million euros, approximately 9.7 million pounds. Arsenal and Manchester United have been linked with the 23-year-old, but he favored a move to the Blues. The Portugal international has also signed a one-year extension to his Atletico Madrid contract until June 2027. He has gone on to score 34 goals in 131 appearances in all competition with 18 assists. He follows Bernard Batachel, David Datro Fofana and Andrew Santos in joining Chelsea during their January transfer window for the first time since his deportation last year. He added that it had been the same hamstring that had troubled him last week on his way to the title at the Adelaide International. Djokovic received a warm reception from fans last week at the Adelaide International and will on Friday discover what the Melbourne crowd makes of his return after last year's deportation and 10 days legal saga related to his name. Omotayo Adebodo, Osbc News.
For instance, Uganda has declared the end of nearly 4-month Ebola outbreak. It struggled to contain, but was able to bring under control despite the absence of a proven vaccine against the viral strain. Sarah Omodele has the details of this.
Ministry figures, the outbreak killed 55 of the 143 people infected, and 6 of the people who died were health workers in the East African country. In the early weeks of the outbreak, cases spread beyond the epicenter of Mbende, 150 kilometers west of the capital Kampala, to several other districts. The World Health Organization says the country needs to pass 42 days twice the maximum incubation period after the last confirmed case for it to be declared upon independence. China's state-run Global Times newspaper tweeted, the Taiwan's Affairs Office warning that Taiwan's secession is doomed to fail and that its independence is an act waiting to be punished. Meanwhile, a knife attacker wounded 6 people in an unprovoked attack in Paris' busy Gare du Nord train station before being shot by police. The assailant is currently between life and death in the hospital. Sarah Omodele, Osbc News.
The report on Osbc TV. It was edited by Kayode Adebayo. I am Olubunmi Ajiboye Agbola saying good night.